Hey guys, Streams here again. This one would have Goku and Vegeta were born as Gogeta and Vegito. Now, Bardock in this one would be born as the bastard child of the previous King Vegeta, King Vegeta II. This makes him the half-brother of King Vegeta III, the one that we know, which would make our future protagonist the half-brother of our future deuteragonist. Or deuteragonist, I don't care, but yeah. Now, Bardock's mother told him this as because he was wondering why he was born so strong, and she tells him the truth. The king realized that Bardock had learned of this, so to keep Bardock from being near his future children, he demotes Bardock from middle class to low class, and his mother goes with him. And eventually, when the King Vegeta III is elected, he learns of this and tries to kill off Bardock by sending him on dangerous missions or having Frieza do it, as he's like, "Sir, this warrior is strong. I'd like to see what he can do in battle." Frieza's like, "A strong monkey. Let's see what he can do." And Bardock continues to live, growing stronger and resentful towards the Royal Saiyans. Now, eventually, Bardock does have a child named Raditz, and that made it worse, as Raditz was one, weak, but also the son of the person King Vegeta hates the most, aside from Frieza and King Cold. So, Raditz gets pretty shitty treatment. But Bardock, to make sure Raditz isn't killed by anyone, Bardock kind of takes Raditz into his own squad. And Gina is pregnant again, and Bardock refuses to let another child go through what Raditz went through, so he decides to approach Frieza, because he knows Frieza loves chaos. His information will give Frieza the chaos he wants. Bardock would approach Frieza with this. "Lord Frieza, I have a question to ask of you." Frieza was intrigued, but before Frieza could even say anything, Zarbon would actually yell at Bardock, saying, "You dare ask questions of the great Lord Frieza." And he actually goes to grab Bardock in anger, but Zarbon is grabbed by Bardock's squad, and Frieza yells at them to take it outside. They do so, and Bardock will ask Frieza a question. And Frieza then says, "Alright, you ask that, you want to tell me a secret, that's right. Is that it?" Bardock nods, and Frieza says, "This is some puny secret among warriors. I don't want it. In fact, I may even kill you for wasting my time." Bardock then shook his head, saying, "No, it's a secret amongst the King of the Saiyans, and the previous one." Immediately, Frieza's like, "That's annoying old man. What is that secret, Bardock? Or little monkey?" And Bardock would actually say, "I am the half-brother of the current King of the Saiyans, but he does not like me, because I am his half-brother. His father decided that aiming for a low-class woman who wouldn't speak up would be best. But what he doesn't know is that protection is the best thing." And immediately, Frieza kind of laughed at that. But, yeah. Yeah. But we could probably just go on to Frieza kind of enjoying this. But eventually, after Bardock says everything he knows, Frieza asks him what's the point of all this. Bardock says he would like to have Frieza force the king to push him and his family into the middle class where they used to be. And Frieza says, you don't want to be made a noble. Bardock says, "No, that'd be too obvious. Just middle class will suffice, Lord Frieza." Frieza says, "I'll hold this against the king, and it'll make him leave me alone, instead of trying to ask me to kill you. Alright, it shall be done." And with this, Bardock would just nod. Now, Frieza also realized what happened to Raditz, and actually has an idea. He wants to get in with the blood of the king, the Saiyan elites, and she tells Bardock he'll have someone personal train Raditz so he doesn't die. Someone personal is Dodoria. So, yeah. Now with this, when it came to Bardock's son being born, his second son, he is named Gogeta, as he thinks it'd be funny to mess with the royal family. The only thing is, Gogeta is born, the same year as Prince Vegito, but he's born earlier. He's born in April. The prince is born in August. But yeah, so Gogeta is born the same year as the prince, but he's a few months older, and he's born with a power level of 2,500. The king honestly couldn't exile him because Bardock somehow got in contact with Frieza, so he's already just too He has so many connections. But then, to the prince, even the king shock, his son Vegito is born with a power level of 5,000. But later, another boy is born with a power level 10,000. Now, the king wanted to exile this other boy who was born at 10,000. But all the Saiyan scientists had kind of leaked what had happened, and this new generation of these three boys are dubbed the Generation of Might. And immediately King Vegeta's like, well, everyone knows who they are, and if they realize I exile this boy, they'll think I'm nervous. So to save face, he keeps Broly on the planet. These boys are studied by the Saiyans, and they're forced to train together to grow stronger as a group. And here's what the analysis say about everyone. Gogeta. A boy who loves combat and studying / messing with his opponents in the middle of a fight and creating their attacks. They do know he has a special ability of copying any technique and adapting to any situation in combat. Then the young prince, Vegito. A boy similar to Gogeta who loves combat, but takes a genuine interest in studying his opponents. But also raw combat raw combat skills, I would say. Skills and tactics. But he also has insane potential that may even rival, the next boy. But Vegito's special ability, they deem it godly potential. Then Broly, a shy and reserved child who loves nature, but at the same time is a natural powerhouse who seems nearly invulnerable in terms of physicality. But emotionally, he's a glass house that has stones constantly thrown at it, and his reaction to the house shattering varies. And, his growth being such that Vegito does not help that his emotions are always varying. His special ability is many. Godly physical power, godly growth, and his wrathful transformation has only been shown once, and Gogeta and Vegito barely stopped it in their Great Ape forms. But Gogeta did lose his tail in that altercation. And he kind of just leaves it off permanently. And Vegito, to honor his friend's loss, he does the same. Broly just has his tail forcefully removed at some point. But yeah, pause. Now, the boys travel around the galaxy, training and conquering. Eventually, Gogeta found an interest in languages and techniques. Vegito has an interest in the strongest warriors and their techniques. He has an interest in learning. Gogeta has an interest in studying. And Broly has an interest in observing. But he also does enjoy training with his squad, even if they're much weaker than him. Their squad is Gogeta, Vegito, Nappa, Raditz, Tarbell, and himself. Gogeta at 11,000, Vegito at 16,000, Nappa at 6,000, Raditz at 4,000, Tarbell at 1,000, Broly at 25,000. At this point, they're about, I would say, Mighty Trio is 8 years old, Tarbell is 5, Raditz is 13. Nappa is still an adult, so his age doesn't matter. But, yeah. Now, Gogeta had gotten sick at some point, so he's off on Frieza Planet 79, buying medicine, and about to head home when he gets medicine. Tarbell and Broly were looking at random planets, see if they had any value that Frieza wanted to conquer. Well, Vegito, Nappa, and Raditz were actually busy conquering a planet. Now, in the middle of all of this, Planet Vegeta is destroyed. Gogeta had overheard who did it as he was leaving, and had an idea. He took his entire Tarbell bottle of medicine, drinking the entire thing, then flying up in the air, and charging up the blast resembling a Kamehameha, but then turned it into a Big Bang attack, kind of mixing them both. And with this, the large blast basically just scorched a lot of this. His blast making sure he didn't kill anyone, but he's aiming for the most important Frieza Force structures, including one that ended up temporarily disabling the ability to communicate through all scouters, or at least Frieza's tracking conversations through scouters, and tracking ships. He made sure to do that. Then Gogeta flew down, crashing basically through an entire field of ships, basically blowing up every single one except the biggest one, taking that ship and flying off. He created a scouter, zooming in, I'd say, but channeling in to his squad's channel and telling them everything that he knew. And with this, they end up saying, "All right, we got it. You're gonna head to Earth." Broly and Tarbell said they're in this galaxy. They're gonna stay in that galaxy because Frieza wanted to move into it, but with all this happening, he'll probably hold off on that. But yeah. Bardock and Gine do talk to Goku or Gogeta, and they say goodbye. Gogeta would fly off, and he lands on Earth. Gogeta is raised by Gohan, and he is taught Earth martial arts. Gogeta is. By the time Gogeta was about 14, so 2 years before he meets Bulma, he left to go learn all the martial arts the world has to offer. He had mastered Turtle Hermit style as he fought Roshi. Well, first he fought Gohan and beat Gohan, then Roshi helped him perfect it. It took him a few days with Roshi, honestly, but yeah, Roshi. What he got out of that is Roshi as an ally, and he got the Flying Nimbus. Then the Crane style. He didn't shout to like acquaintances, but Shen was more or less just Gogeta's punching bag for a few weeks. Assassination techniques. Well, he more or less got that after Tao went to hunt him for beating up Shen, but Tao lost. Tao views Gogeta as a rival, and the Red Ribbon Army had gotten beaten up by Gogeta as well, because he heard how strong they were. But they basically view Gogeta as an enemy. Shaolin Kung Fu is working at Krillin. He kind of just considered Krillin his student, as he taught Krillin the basics of Turtle Hermit style. And much more, as he had met Yamcha, Hercule, Korin, Baba. They all, for Yamcha and Hercule, they were more like Gogeta students. Korin and Baba are just straight up friends to Gogeta. And Gogeta was allowed to reunite with Bardock with Baba, so that was the thing. Now, he returned to Gohan a few years later when he's 16. Now, at this point, he's a bit bigger, I would say. His different, yet not so different biology allows him to be bigger. So currently, I'd say he's about the same size as Bulma. He's a bit bigger considering the fact that a fusion is not a technical person, because they have to be forced apart at some point. So with this just enhanced biology, I'd say he does age a bit faster, yet also he stays younger a lot longer. So, yeah. If anything, I'd say he ages kind of like the androids, where he looks the same most of his life, but he does gain a lot of wisdom as he does age. So, yeah. Now, he meets Bulma and agrees to help her find the Dragon Balls. But when she shows him what a Dragon Ball is, he pulls out an entire bag of them, saying that he's collected these from multiple enemies. In fact, him and Bulma only need to find 2 more before they have all of them. So him and Bulma do go find the 2 Dragon Balls, and Gogeta basically went to the desert where he met Yamcha. Yamcha talked about the Pilaf Gang and how they have something that they call a Dragon Ball or whatever, and he's like, okay, cool, lead the way. Yamcha does so they basically just destroy the Pilaf Gang, grabbing that 1 Dragon Ball, and Oolong had the last one. Bulma and Yamcha did that themselves as well. Yamcha just got to know Bulma in that meantime, but yeah. Now, Gogeta makes a wish, since him and Bulma started dating pretty soon after meeting, so, yeah. By the way, if you guys are wondering why I'm having Gogeta and Bulma date, literally it can go any way for any good for Gogeta or Vegito, considering that they are Goku and Vegeta in the same body, just combined. So, yeah. But, yeah. Now, Gogeta's wish is very specific, so, it's very, not specific, but also just very broad, and Shenron kind of throws him a bone for being so creative with it. And plus, he's also kind of the hero of Earth, so that also has some credit to it. But he has to know the location of every living Saiyan. And with this, Shenron's freebie is their names. So, yeah. Now, basically with this, we have Broly with power level 150,000. Shenron doesn't tell the power levels, I'm just telling you the power levels for now. Broly at 150,000 is on planet Cereal. Vegito, power level of 90,000, is on Frieza planet 79. Gogeta, power level of 83,000 on Earth. Raditz, power level of 35,000 on Frieza planet 79. Tarbell, power level of 30,000, planet Cereal. Nappa is power level 25,000, Frieza planet 79. You guys are wondering, why Broly and Tarbell on planet Cereal? Simply put, Frieza doesn't bother with the Heater's territory. They lay low there with Tarbell and his wife, Gure. So, they lay low there. And I don't know what species Tarbell's wife is. She kind of look like the people who live on planet Cereal to me. So, or the new inhabitants of planet Cereal. They live there. Manito is kind of offering them housing. It's a weird thing with Granola, but Granola's like, well, that guy is pretty cowardly as he points at Tarbell, and Broly is too nice to be a conqueror. But they're also insanely powerful, so Granola doesn't like them, but Manito confirms they're good guys. Even they say what they didn't Frieza for it. Broly says he kind of scattered out plant life. Tarbell says he was kind of just does what he's told, even though he's pretty weak. So Granola kind of just left them alone. but didn't like them still. But yeah. Now once Gogeta had heard everything, he was pretty happy. But now that the adventure ended early, Gogeta would introduce Yamcha to Gohan so that he could train. Tien and Chaozu sought out Roshi since Gogeta claimed Roshi and Gohan were his mentors. But they found it easier to find Roshi than Gohan, so... Now, Krillin had joined Roshi in the meantime as well. Now, Gogeta would find Hercule since he would be a decent student for Gohan, because he thinks that Gohan is kind of like... Gohan isn't obsessed with combat, but also Gogeta is still going to travel the world. So he brings Hercule to Gohan to keep him and Yamcha company. One, because Yamcha's stupid. Hercule's bravado may entertain them both. So, He kind of just brought Hercule to them as a good clown, but Hercule does also have an actual dedication to martial arts. So, In the meantime, Gogeta would give Bulma and Dr. Reefs the ship he stole from Frieza, and with how run down and broken it actually kind of is from his crash landing there, it won't be tracked. So, Now, Dr. Briefs would decide to try to make a spaceship, but then Gogeta mentioned how light the gravity here is, so now they have the idea of a gravity chamber. And while Gogeta helps Dr. Briefs disassemble the pod, Dr. Briefs rants about the Red Ribbon Army who had made like a ramp up in assault and robbery for like technology. And Gogeta realizes that he has to just crush them all. He can't just be mean to them one time and expect everything to stop. So on one day that he's not helping Dr. Briefs, he flies off to the Red Ribbon Army and simply just blasts down every base with one blast, going back to what he used to do. As he basically literally erases the Red Ribbon Army. Like, also Duro still survives, because I want to talk about the future of the Android saga later, but still. Now, Gogeta would have to fight Tao, since Tao challenged him, or he has to unalive Tao, since Tao challenged him to a fight until their breath discontinues. Gogeta would effortlessly block and counter every single one of Tao's attacks, not even using his hand, just using two fingers and sliding Tao's attacks left or right. But also he knows every single one of Tao's techniques, so Tao isn't really able to even hit him at all, even if he wanted to. So, yeah. But eventually, Gogeta would knee Tao in the gut, hard enough to make Tao just, like, heave and fall forward a bit. But as soon as he was forward, Gogeta would basically slam his elbow down on Tao's neck, kind of just crushing it. With this, Tao's existence is therefore ended. So, yeah. Now, Tien and Chaozu do learn of this, and they've learned the error of their ways with Roshi, so then they do think it's a shame that Tao couldn't learn how bad he was. They think it's a shame that Tao couldn't recognize that he was evil and that his ways were wrong. But they learned it pretty quickly. So yeah. Now the tournament begins with Gogeta, Tien, Chaozu, Yamcha, Krillin, and Hercule all participating. Roshi or Jackie Chun isn't in the tournament. Neither is Gohan. So, Gohan isn't in it either way, but still. There's not really much to cover, considering that Gogeta's high power level and him knowing all their martial arts and techniques is a major factor. So, yeah. So he kind of just decimates the entire tournament without much effort, actually. If you guys want to talk about, like, oh, what about the lesson he learns? Gogeta's a master martial artist who's been planet to planet fighting strong warriors constantly. He's going to learn the lesson one way or another. Even if he doesn't, his dad, who's a good martial artist, will teach him that lesson. So, or would have. So, Now, the Red Ribbon Army saga is non-existent, considering that there's only one member left. So, yeah. This enters the Gravity Training saga, so it was a rather fun saga for everyone involved. Then when Gogeta does go to train with Korin, because he wants to go see Korin again, Korin actually sends him up to Kami. Gogeta pretty easily completes Mr. Popo's training within like the span of like 2 minutes. So then he meets Kami, and Gogeta's like, oh, you're a Namekian. Kami's like, what's a Namekian? And Gogeta breaks down what a Namekian is. And Gogeta mentions he can speak a little bit of it, but he's not too great at it. So, yeah. Eventually Gogeta learns everything that Kami has to offer, and like basically every technique. And after this point, when it goes down to Gogeta, when he would canonically be 17, because it's been years since the beginning of Dragon Ball in that story. But instead of being 17, he'd be 21 because he's older. But yeah, but he goes to King Kai for a few years. And at that point, he grows to power level of 2.6 million. And when he emerged that after King Kai's planet, when he's 21, the Z Fighters have power level of Tien being strongest at 45,000. Krillin, 40,000, Yamcha, 30,000, Chaozu, 15,000, Hercule, 5,000, Roshi, 1,000, Gohan, 700. Gohan doesn't really train, he teaches, but yeah. But yeah. Now, at the tournament, the Z Fighters show off their new power, do their intense gravity training, but also all of them have aced Korin training and completed Kami's training. So, they're pretty set, actually. There's only still so much to cover since Gogeta slams them all without much trouble. So, like, even when they go, like, oh yeah, he'd be pretty weak if he's off guard. This man is a master martial artist who knows all their abilities. He refuses to be off guard around them because he knows how much destruction they can cause if he's off guard. Even if they're so weak, they'd hurt if he's not ready. So, yeah. And on the story, Cambrian attacks Krillin. Speaking of off guard, Krillin is off guard. He's injured, but he turned around pretty quickly and killed Tambourine with one go. So, yeah. The Z Fighters all sense the key now, and they're ready to go decimate everyone. But they fly off to kill the Demon King spawn. But Gogeta tells them if you find Piccolo, don't kill him. So, yeah. They're aware of this, so Gogeta's confirming it, but yeah. But they defeat everyone pretty effortlessly and easily. Then when Gogeta meets Yajirobe, he leaves them with Bora's tribe of Korin, since Korin kind of holds the most valuable healing source in the universe, possibly. So I think it'd be a major factor of, hey, don't let a random fat stranger who's obviously hungry up on a tower with a cat that has magical healing beans. Don't let a fat stranger up there. So immediately, that's kind of just a thing where I'm like, that's common sense. Don't let a fat, hungry man on a tower with healing beans. So, yeah. Now, Roshi had fought Piccolo, but didn't really kill him. He kind of just beat him down. Roshi saw Gogeta arrive. Piccolo tried to blast Roshi, but Gogeta just blasted a hole through Piccolo's stomach and made him spit out an egg. Gogeta pretty easily caught the egg midair as he was flying. And Kami didn't try healing it since Gogeta mentioned the babies in the eggs aren't the same, but they do have similarities. And they can be pretty easily influenced. Kami tried to use Dragon Balls to try to remove the Demon King's influence to ensure that little Piccolo Jr. can be his own person. Kami doesn't really want to raise him to be the next Kami. He wants to raise him to be, well, he'll grow up to be whoever he wants to. So, Demon King Piccolo's influence is already not inside of Piccolo Jr. He has the memories, not the desire. So, yeah. Now, eventually, Gogeta and Bulma do go to find Kami's ship during the time skip, just because it's an alien ship. And on that ship, while they talk, they coincidentally conceive a child. If you guys know what that means, you know what it means. And coincidentally, the child was also born the same day as Piccolo Jr. Piccolo is his own person, and, well, before he decided, where he lived, he wanted to see Namek, actually. Gogeta would end up using the already set coordinates on Kami's ship and fly off to Namek with Piccolo. Bulma goes with them, but yeah. Well, Bulma and their son Gohan. Remember Gohan is pretty old, so he just Gogeta's in case he doesn't make it, Gohan just go on. So yeah. Now, when they get to Namek, well, also I forgot to mention something. Kami trains with Gogeta, physically, and they train. So Kami is also more involved with his Namekian abilities. So he's upgraded Dragon Balls a few times, but they're not as strong as Namekian Dragon Balls still. But, yeah. Now, Gogeta, Piccolo, Bulma, and Gohan explore Namek and befriend all the Namekians, even Nail. Piccolo does think they're actually too strict, which does surprise Guru, but Nail does mention that they are kind of strict. Especially for a planet like Earth, where freedom is kind of the main thing in some countries. Or continents, but yeah. Now, Guru, as hey, you're our friends, I'll unlock your potential. And that does happen, so, yeah. Now, on Earth, Piccolo trains with Kami, because they need to go back to Earth. Piccolo trains with Kami the entire time. And Chi-Chi reveals herself as a student of Gohan, which I'm just oh, I honestly didn't think I knew Chi-Chi. I didn't bother mentioning her. Now, Yamcha and Chi-Chi never dated, considering that Chi-Chi, well, one, kind of thinks of Yamcha as a fraud when he just talks about him being a playboy. But, yeah. Well, Chi-Chi does mention that she trains with Ox King and Gohan. Now, the power levels by the time Raditz arrives. Raditz himself has a power level of 70,000. Z Fighters. Gogeta, after his King Kai training, but also unlocking Super Saiyan and Kaioken, has a power level of 5.5 million in base, including Super Saiyan and Kaioken times 60. Piccolo, also, I think that Gogeta would share Kaioken, considering it's a really, really useful technique for everyone, but not everyone will learn it just yet. Piccolo has it, and he has a power level of 1 million in base. Tien has Kaioken times 3, and that's about it, and Tien has a power level of 100,000. Krillin, 90,000, Yamcha, 88,000, Hercule, 50,000, Chaozu, 50,000, Chi-Chi, 15,000, Roshi is at 10,000, but in his buff form, he's 15,000, and Kid Gohan, 4,000. So, yeah. Now, this is their gravity training and Kami training, but also a bit of Gogeta training. At Kami House, Raditz tries to, just talk to everyone, first Gogeta mainly, but Gogeta's off guard, happy to talk to his brother. Now, Raditz tries to convince Gogeta to join the Frieza Force, as he doesn't have the scouter on right now, but he has kind of tucked away behind in his hair, basically. And he tries to tell Gogeta, saying, you don't need to be here, he gives the same usual Raditz spiel, and Gogeta's off guard, still, he's what are you talking about? What about Vegito? He wouldn't want this, he's our friend and kind of our leader. Now when Raditz kind of realizes that Gogeta is not, siding with him, Gogeta at the same time kind of realized that Raditz is trained by Dodoria. Dodoria likely brainwashed him. Before Gogeta can even insinuate that, he's blasted by Raditz. This doesn't kill him, but he's injured. All Z Fighters kind of just literally simultaneously just blast Raditz, putting holes through him in every possible way. And immediately Raditz is killed. Well, first he falls to his knees, then as he coughs up blood, he just tells Gogeta, Lord Frieza will have your head for your betrayal. Immediately Gogeta just stands up before just literally crushing Raditz's head, telling him that Vegito would do far worse to him for betraying his friends. As Gogeta and Vegito are relatively similar, they're pretty friendly guys. So, yeah. But in the meantime, Frieza, Zarbon, and Dodoria were laughing as Frieza had smiled, saying, "Wow, Dodoria, I'm surprised that Monkey has so much faith in you and your words." So, yeah. But, yeah. Now, meanwhile, Z Fighters had all killed Raditz, and they helped Gohan. So, yeah. Because Gohan was kind of scared right now. He's so, I think at the point he's 8 years old. So, yeah. But yeah, Gohan's kind of scared, but still. Now, Bulma's kind of like Bulma spoke up first, saying, "Is the rest of your squad loyal to the Frieza Force?" Gogeta shook his head, saying, "No, I'm closer to the rest of them either way, but he's trained by Frieza's left hand, so I can see how he'd be brainwashed. It's a shame, but I'm also not surprised." As he just shrugs. Now, Piccolo would fly to Kami as they get the Dragon Balls, as they have an idea. Because Gogeta mentioned Tarble and, Broly. Now, with this, Shenron summoned, and the first wish is to bring Tarble and Broly to Earth. That kind of covers up two wishes. The third wish is to bring their closest associates. Now, Monito may count as an associate, but he's more like a friendly landlord than an associate. So, eh. With Monito being more like a landlord, he's not really an associate, but he's a friend. And with this, this more or less brings Granola and Gure with Broly and Tarble instead. So, yeah. Now, Broly and Granola are very confused, including Broly and Tarble are very confused, including Granola and Gure. But then Broly sees Gogeta and just kind of yells "Gogeta!" Doesn't hug him or anything, but he's just shakes his hand and all that. Broly was very sad after he hears everything. So is Tarble. But Tarble spoke up, saying, "Well, Vegeta wouldn't do that, so I think we're safe with him." So yeah. Now, the power levels after your training, just in case Vegito and Nappa turn heel. Gogeta is at 20 million in base. This is the only time he surpassed Broly. But he's at 20 million in base with Super Saiyan 1 and 2 plus Kaioken times an unknown number, since it can literally go for infinite times for him right now. Broly 15 million plus Ozaru's Wrath. Tien 800,000 plus Kaioken and Spirit Bomb, as he's Met Kinkai now. Granola 730,000. Krillin 625,000 with Kaioken. Yamcha 600,000. Chaozu 550,000 plus Spirit Bomb. Turbo 500,000 plus Super Saiyan. Kid Gohan 400,000. Roshi 300,000. He can buff up to 400,000. And Chi-Chi's at 100,000. So, yeah. Now, when Vegito arrived, he didn't look furious or anything. He actually just hugged Tarble and says it's good to see him again. Nappa ended up pulling in the mighty trio and just laughed, saying, all you boys are bigger than me now. It's good to see Vegito wasn't the only one with the growth spurt. As I would say Vegito and Gogeta, their height always varies from what I look up. So I'm just gonna be funny and put them all at canonical Dragon Ball Super Broly height. Not Legendary Super Saiyan Broly height, but base Legendary Super Saiyan or base Broly height. So about 7 foot something. Nappa was 6'10", but still they're all bigger than Nappa. But yeah. Now they do Vegito pointed out that they look pretty roughed up. Vegito and Nappa do. Nappa and Vegito mentioned that they were kind of ambushed by the Frieza Force when they left. But Gogeta kind of mentioned that he kind of just blasted away a majority of that fleet in one go, so it was pretty easy. As Vegito is just about power level, I would say, let's say 8 million. And Nappa is about 1 million at the highest. So, yeah. Oops, that was not good. I don't know why, but one entire paragraph didn't have any punctuation. I'd just reset that entire thing real quick. But yeah. Now with this, Vegito mentioned that Frieza had somehow heard about Namek and something called Dargon Bowls or whatever. Now Gogeta decided to bring them to Namek, as he would use a ship, but also Dragon Balls. So they all leave to Namek in their own way. Well, not all of them, but some of them do go to Namek in their own way. But the Saiyans minus Gohan, Granola, Tien, Piccolo himself, Krillin, and Chi-Chi all go to Namek. So, yeah. On Namek, the Saiyans do get new clothes, and they do like them. Gogeta gets his usual Gogeta-esque clothes. Vegito gets his Vegito-esque clothes, the Frieza Force uniforms. Nappa just kind of gets like a black tank top, white pants, and just Namekian-esque shoes. So, yeah. I'll say if anything, Nappa kind of just resembles... Honestly, I don't know what he resembles, honestly. I don't care. Now, they're able to set Namek up for basically success. With the non-combatants being hidden pretty effectively, the warriors being trained up, even some of the stronger ones fusing with Nail. And this does bring Nail's about 3 million in base. He does have power-ups, but that's about it. Now, Guru doesn't really like fusion, and he even tries to reprimand Nail, but Piccolo yells at Guru, telling him the errors of his ways, making him see logic. Which Guru doesn't understand this and tells Piccolo he could use a fresh new view, and fuses with Piccolo after a bit. So Piccolo fuses with Guru, which kind of turns Dragon Balls to stone. So, yeah. And Piccolo kind of just absorbs them and just offers to make new ones once the Frieza Force is dealt with. But yeah, Piccolo would use Guru's power to unlock everyone's potential, bringing them to insanely strong heights. Vegito learned Super Saiyan pretty quickly on his way there with Gogeta, but he learned Super Saiyan 2 once his potential was unlocked. Gogeta already had Super Saiyan 1 through 3, so, yeah. Tarble is learning Super Saiyan 2 right now. Gohan is just learning Super Saiyan. When the Frieza Force arrives, Vegito confronts Zarbon, and Gogeta confronts Doria. Gogeta stared down Doria like a fury, saying, "You brainwashed my brother, so I'll ensure your life is shortened and full of agony in what remaining seconds you have left." Doria's like, "Wait, what? Seconds?" Then Doria is charged by Gogeta, and with a quick bicycle kick, well, this sends Doria flying into a boulder. Then Gogeta would just use an invisible eye blast, kind of like what Jiren does, to basically just blow Doria's body to pieces with that attack. Though Zarbon already knows he's no match for Vegito, even when he was in the Frieza Force. By the time Vegito was like 11, Zarbon stood no chance against him whatsoever. So, yeah. Zarbon hesitantly attacked, and Vegeta literally just chopped him across the neck with enough force to make his head no longer be in the right place. Unless you think a lake is the right place for a head, but for Vegito, it's not in the right place. But yeah. Now the remaining Frieza force is literally dropped by the Z Fighters, and the Ginyu Force faces Nail and Granola. Ginyu tried checking their power levels, but quickly Granola would blast a Scouter and a portion of Ginyu's head away. Birder would charge Granola using his insane speed, but Granola would just dodge as Nail blasts into the back, ending the life of the fastest man in the Frieza Force, or the said fastest man. Now Granola pretty easily slammed the rest of the Frieza Force using, Ginyu Force, not really using much effort, honestly. Now the Z Fighters all jump Frieza, as Gogeta and Vegito are already jumping Frieza in their own way. They're kind of having fun abusing him. Now, when Frieza mentioned full power, he wanted to show them what he can do, but with the overwhelming yell of the Z Fighters, Vegito and Gogeta kind of just like, alright, fine. We won't let him go all out, even though it's dishonorable. And they proceed to basically just beat Frieza to death without much difficulty, honestly. So, yeah. And when they wanted to leave, Gogeta was told by King Kai to go to Yardrat, as King Kai's like, Goku, I know you have a family and all that, but this planet, it'll give you abilities that no other planet can offer you. You may even want to bring a few of your friends. And Gogeta decides to head to Yardrat. He goes there with Broly, Tien, Granola, Vegeta, and Chi-Chi. Not Vegeta, Vegito and Chi-Chi. The reason that Broly and Chi-Chi are there is because they have nothing better to do, and Tien already uses some level of spirit control, so I think it's going to be good for him. Then I will say that Tien could probably bring Chaozu there for a bit of him learning instant transmission. So, yeah. Or one of them learning it, but yeah. Now, Gogeta and Vegito pretty easily master every spirit control technique. Tien learns mostly every technique, but doesn't have a grasp on Force Spirit Vision. Chaozu had only learned Gigantification and Cloning, while Chi-Chi only learned Gigantification. She kind of thought it was funny to be bigger than her dad, that's why she learned it. But yeah. Broly just got a grasp on his rage that the Manito had suppressed using magic and Dragon Balls. So, yeah. Broly's grasping his rage even allowed him to learn a perfectly controlled Ozaru's Wrath and perfectly controlled Super Saiyan. Not Legendary Super Saiyan, but still Super Saiyan. So, yeah. Pause. Alright, what else? Oh, yeah. So Tarbell on Earth had taught Nappa and Gohan Super Saiyan, while he personally had learned Super Saiyan 2 during his time on the Lookout. Now Vegito had learned Super Saiyan 3, and Gogeta and Vegito both learned how to stack Kaioken on top of Super Saiyan 1, 2, and 3, and they can go up to times 5. So, yeah. The Yardrat group soon returned to Earth. I'm going to go over the living situation since there's so many more Z Fighters. Krillin and Roshi live at Kame House. Piccolo, Popo, Tarbell, and Gurei live at the Lookout. Bulma, Gogeta, Gohan, Nappa, and Granola live at Capsule Corp. Gohan, Yamcha, Tien, and Chaozu live on Mount Paozu. I'm talking about Grandpa Gohan. And Vegito is offered to live with Chi-Chi and Ox King, which kind of shows the new relationship. Now, all the Z Fighters, just roughly, I'd say like all the non-Saiyans are all the non-Saiyans, Ceruleans, and Namekians. So the humans are roughly about as strong as 50% Final Form Frieza. So just about 50 million to 60 million. So they're pretty strong. Now, oddly enough, there's no time traveler in this timeline. And King Cold, honestly, is just not there. He heard his son got beaten to death without even going all out yet. He doesn't want to know how strong the next group is going to be. King Cold was honestly kind of just cowering. Plus, he heard it was Vegito, and he assumes that Vegito is a legendary Super Saiyan, which his son has reason to fear. So, he's more or less cowering because of Vegito. Now, for the next 3 years, they all train a lot harder than usual, so the training that the fighters would do in canon is pretty basic and kind of actually low tier for this group. But they end up still doing that amount of training. Now, when they do reunite, Kid Gohan, shows off his new baby brother, Gotenks, combining the new naming scheme of Gogeta's family and, well, Bulma's family, Gotenks. And Chi-Chi would show off her new daughter, Bulla. Everyone asks who the father is until they see the really spiky hair, and they kind of just point at like Vegito, telling him, "Wait, you had a kid." Even Nappa surprised. Turbo and Gurray also have a child, but that child is not a fighter, so honestly they do not matter. They look like an onion, and I frankly don't want to cover it. So yeah. No, Gurray looks like a daikon. Pretty sure it's called a daikon, but it's like a white and green carrot. So yeah, actually I think it is. It's a radish, not a carrot, but it looks like a carrot to me. But yeah, Gurray looks like that to me. I don't know why, but she does. Hold up. Like, Gurray reminds me of like a daikon, a dumpling, and an onion all in one. I don't know why, but she does. It's the head, probably, but she does. But, yeah. Now, there's an attack, and Yamcha happens to be in the city while there's an attack. Yamcha's buying everyone at the reunion, well, snacks. And Android 20 attacks Yamcha, but Yamcha pretty easily blocked Android 20's attack, and just said, "Hey, that's a nice unit. You're making me smell like groceries." Android 19 also attacked Yamcha, while Yamcha at the same time sometimes is able to fight off both of them pretty effectively, like it's nothing. Eventually, he does kill Android 19 by just tearing his head off while trying to absorb his ki. Like, as soon as it grabbed him, he just literally just tore his head off. But then Android 20 tried impaling Yamcha, but Yamcha was able to block and flared his ki, and Tien would arrive first, kicking Android 20 across the city. Android 20 happens to be Jiro, by the way, if you guys didn't know that, but yeah. Or the robot Jiro, but still, who cares? Android 20 flies away towards the lab, but the moment they tried opening the door, Tien just appeared behind him, and blasted him, well, through the lab doors, killing Jiro before he can basically have anyone awaken. So just literally only Android 20 and 19 were awakened. So yeah. Now Gohan and Granola arrive first, being curious about everything. They find Jiro's computers and start accessing the files on the androids. Because Gohan has like a part-time job at Capsule Corp, and Granola kind of works there as well. So they both end up kind of just, well, using the computers there and finding everything they need. Pause. Alright, what else? Oh yeah, so they get all the information they need on the androids, but Bulma arrives, and without the Chi-Chi, they're able to basically, well, Chi-Chi mainly helps by just making sure the androids are held down. She uses her giant form to just hold them in place, like their pods. Bulma doesn't awaken them, but basically changes their means, like, they're supposed to, kill Goku, or Gogeta, she changes that, all that. But yeah, she kind of just reset and reprogram them. They are made aware, on like Insistence of the Dragon Team, they're made aware of what Jiro wanted them to do. But as much thanks to Bulma, even though they're given their own life, to thank Bulma, they do work for her. But 16 can definitely need his own life, considering he's just a giant 7-foot can of steel. He kind of just acts like Bulma's personal assistant and like the head of security at Capsule Corp, or him and Granola are, but yeah. The androids just kind of like 17 and 18 live in different fields for Capsule Corp. Plus, Krillin is still 18's husband. 17 just does his own thing in the meantime. Well, in the time skip between the Buu and Cell saga, or Android saga, there's no Cell here at all. If you guys are wondering what happened to Cell, he is still a sperm cell, basically. He's literally just a sperm cell or a fetus at this point. Like, he's not going to be used. So, yeah. Now, the power levels. Broly, 500 million, base. Then he has Super Saiyan, and controlled legendary Super Saiyan form. Granola, unknown, but they do know he made some wish with the Dragon Balls. They knew he made some wish, but they don't know what wish, like what the wish was. He didn't do it on Earth. He did it on planet Cereal when he was visiting Monito. Gogeta and Vegito, 370 million, plus Super Saiyan 1 through 3, stacked with Kaioken that can go up to 80. Piccolo, unknown, but he does have some orange form that does put him on par with the other Saiyans. Then, Turbo and Gohan are about equal at 180 million, plus Super Saiyan 1 through 3. Gohan does have a girlfriend in Videl, but, well, she more or less kind of pinned him against the wall at some point and said, "Hey, you're my boyfriend now," and he hasn't said no. So that's kind of just how him and Videl work. Then androids 16, 17, and 18 all kind of just accumulate at 500 million. Gotenks and Bulma are both about 200 million. But I choose another name for Bulma because I couldn't think of one. So, yeah. But, yeah, Gotenks and Bulma have Super Saiyan 1 through 3. Then Nappa is about 150 million, who is Super Saiyan 1 through 3 as well. And then the humans are all about 80 million, plus Kaioken times 90. So, yeah. Tien can go up to 100, but temporarily. So, yeah. Now, Gohan and Gotenks train Videl, and Bulma even stops by to give them some 2 cents on how to talk to girls. As Gotenks and Bulma won't admit they're dating, but everyone, even their parents, consider them a couple. But Videl's more intense training, plus stronger people training her, and plus her being trained by her dad for her whole life, brings her to just about 20,000 in base, making her a relatively strong human. But still not stronger than the rest of the humans and the Z-Fighters. But, yeah. By the way, I was curious on Chi-Chi's, on how strict she is with Bulma. Bulma's more insistent that she does not want to be a scholar. She wants to be like Mr. Satan, or Hercule, or Gogeta. Hercule and Gogeta are like her main 2 idols, because those 2 are the best martial artists in the world, and they get paid for it. So, yeah, when she even realizes how much money those 2 make from being themselves, that it's scary. So she's like, all right, fine. Just make sure you're somewhat smart. So yeah, she should be at least smarter than Mr. Satan. So that's kind of how it goes. Now the tournament is very much in the Z Fighters' favor. Only difference is that the Great Saiyan was active much longer. Gohan is about he's like 4 years older than Canon, like 3-4 years older than Canon. So he's like, instead of being 18, he's like 19, 20. He's like 21 at this point. So he's been doing the Great Saiyan for a few years. So the Great Saiyan has been active for much longer. Gotenks and Bulma weren't Mighty Masked, since they saw how everyone was being shit stomped by their usual parents and teachers. And the Supreme Kai and Kibito were nearly bitched out by a Z Fighter when they tried acting superior. Even Piccolo knew who they were and bitched them out. So, yeah. It was very intimidating for Shin and Kibito. Now, Spopovich versus Videl was just assault. Like, once Spopovich went in for an attack, she literally kicked him so hard in his hand that his entire arm shattered. Like, Spopovich was being abused. That was not fight. That was assault. It was assault and battery. Yeah, Kibito lost to Gohan so fast that Gohan honestly just used invisible ice strikes, and that really killed Kibito. Shin eventually had to fight Granola, but when Shin tried to use paralysis, Gogeta and Roshi used their clout and had the match stopped. And Granola kind of just caught Yamu and told him to go away, and Yamu does so. Shin eventually is forced to spill the beans to the Z Fighters, but while they're talking, Yamu tries to absorb ki from Gohan. Granola literally cut him in half with a laser, and that's about it. Like Granola just coated 2 fingers in ki and cut Yamu in half, and that was the end of the fight right then and there. Now Shin talks about Buu and Babidi's henchmen like Dabura. Tien appeared using his transmission, and he was panting and covered in sweat. And he mentioned that he found the ship. Tried to engage first, and they beat a ton of guys aboard, but this demon guy stopped him. And the spit turned Chaozu to stone, and Chaozu's currently on the lookout with Mr. Popo. Yeah. Now, Shin and Kibito were surprised, but Kibito spoke up first, saying, "No, no way human could have invaded Babidi's ship and come out alive." Tien was kind of just annoyed by Kibito's voice, and then literally kicked him into a wall, telling him, "Shut up." By the way, who's this old guy I kicked? Gogeta just gave Tien the rundown in simple terms, and Gogeta decides, saying, "Hey, Broly, do you mind going to stop these guys? You're kind of just the only one who's not participating in the tournament." Tien kind of tried. The demon guy kind of caught him off guard. Go solve it. Broly just shrugged, saying, "All right, whatever," and just used his transmission and went and left. By the way, Gogeta or Goku is such a thief of techniques. Gogeta shares. Like, he kind of just tells everyone how to do spirit control, and he's like, alright, if you guys want to learn, tell me, and I'll teach you. So spirit control kind of just a common thing the Z Fighters can use now. Same for Kaioken. That's why I gave it to everyone. So, yeah. So Broly used his transmission and appeared in front of Dabura. Dabura tried spitting, but Broly literally just used a mouth beam and erased Dabura's body. Babidi saw Broly's ki level and tried using his magic to make Broly his servant, but Broly literally just stepped on him, saying, "Oh, sorry." He moved his foot, kind of wiping it off like gunk, and picked up Buu's egg and teleported back to the Z Fighters. Now Shin was just surprised that the egg was back that fast, and then Gotenks piped up with an idea. Hey, Uncle Tien, the short guy, was pointing at Shin, saying, he mentioned that the Buu had absorbed his masters before. Why don't you try that spirit force or like whatever thing that was to get the Kais out? And maybe picked Tien's face while I'm saying that could work. Good job, Gotenks. And Shin was like surprised as he put it together in his mind, saying, "I forgot that your dragons had such amazing abilities." So Shin, with permission, would use Broly's ki to awaken Buu pretty quickly. But immediately, Tien, Piccolo, Chi-Chi, and Broly just use Force Spirit Vision and separate Buu from the Kais. Or the Kais from Buu. Leaving Grand Kai and South Kai laying on the ground. Kid Buu is on the ground now, but it's literally only Kid Buu who's a bit weaker now. But when Kid Buu tried to just get up and start a fight, Piccolo just literally grabbed him and threw him like a water bottle and sealed it, telling him, "Alright, it's done." But Shin's looking around so confused, like, Buu, that fast. And Piccolo kind of just made sure the water bottle was on tight and made sure it was sealed as Buu just getting mad. Piccolo decides saying, I'm just gonna fly into the sun or something. Or maybe have Gogeta use that new, like, star, whatever attack it is to kill this thing. Piccolo opened his robe, throwing the bottom into his robe, which moves to the bottomless pit. This Piccolo's kind of a master of new magic now, so, yeah. But Piccolo teleports away, and she was just surprised, and as he looks at Gotenks and says, "Wait, aren't you in the tournament?" And he says, "Oh no, Bulla, she kicked me too hard, and I quit." As he just ends up showing off a giant bruise on his cheek. But Shin kind of asked Gotenks, Broly, and Tien if they want to try using a mythical sword. Tien isn't a swordsman, so he declined, but says he's willing to train with him still. Broly says he's a swordsman either, but like Tien, he wants to train with them. Gotenks just said, "Give me a sec." He ran over to Gogeta and Bulma and asked them if he could. Gotenks came back a few minutes later saying, "Well, I'll be back before 10 p.m. She nodded, saying, yes, you will." Gotenks said a thumbs up, saying, "Alright, let's go." And Shin would bring Broly, Tien, Chaozu, and Gotenks to his realm. Guys are wondering why Chaozu, they're kind of a package deal, Tien and Chaozu. So, yeah. Gotenks breaks the Z-Sword, releasing Elder Kai. That happens. Gogeta and Vegito have a draw in the tournament because they destroyed the ring, and flight isn't really allowed, so it's a draw. In the meantime, when it came to Bulma, she dominated the junior division. Gogeta would use Soul Punisher, or Stardust Breaker, whatever it's called. I forgot. On Kid Buu. Resulting in a child like Kid Buu, who's actually more like a kid. He's not an evil kid, he's just a really destructive kid. So, yeah. Piccolo raised him for a bit until Shin and Kibito came by and took him. And Grand Kai deemed him evil-free, so, yeah. But that passes until the Battle of God Saga begins, and everyone trains harder just because they want to. Gotenks, Bulla, Hercule, Gohan, and Videl train with Kid Buu and, well, Kibito and Shin a lot, so, yeah. That is when Gotenks and Bulla aren't in school, but... Now, the story begins. Well, at least the Battle of Gods begins. Power levels. Broly, unknown. Gogeta and Vegito, unknown. But Buu does have 100 billion. That's the only known one right now. Roll and Piccolo are known as now 80 billion, plus their usual power-ups. Gohan, 30 billion, plus Super Saiyan, and the Beast transformation. Gotenks and Bulma, 600 million, plus some variation of the Beast form and Super Saiyan. Androids, 10 billion. And Turbo and Nappa, 400 million, and the humans are all in the vein of 200 million, plus Kaioken. So, yeah. At Bulma's birthday party, she's making Gogeta set up giant flags and banners for her birthday party. Everyone arrives and parties for a bit until Kinkai alerts Gogeta and everyone else of Beerus. Vegeta is familiar with Beerus and just simply tells Shin, if things get dire, give your earring to me or Gogeta, and then leave the last one, leave the other one to Broly. I'm telling you, just make sure me or Gogeta fuse with Broly. Maybe even Piccolo. As they don't know how high his orange form Kaioken goes. So, yeah, if anything, it can go higher than their Super Saiyan forms can. So, yeah. But Buu speaks up saying, what if I absorb him? Shin smacks him back in the head saying, no absorbing deities. So, yeah. Now, honestly, this arc is more or less just, like, them fighting Beerus for a bit. But before Beerus recommends, like, told him finally find somebody to make Super Saiyan God, well, Gogeta has an idea. As he holds out his hand, yelling, Stardust Breaker. Vegeta follows up with Spirit Cannon, then the Eraser Cannon, then Kikoho, then Kamehameha, then proceed to basically every signature Ki Blast put into one attack. But it still looks like the Stardust Breaker, just glowing every other color possible. Granola puts his hand under Gogeta's, and using Granola's eye, they end up directing it to Beerus' biggest weak point, hitting Beerus. The blast just dyes the sky a rainbow color for a few weeks. And Gogeta blames it on himself to humanity because they know how strong he is and who he is. Well, they don't know how strong he is, but they know who he is. So, yeah. But with this, I'm honestly probably just going to say that this story in Super is probably just going to be the easiest story possibly ever. Guys already know the manga. Granola's wish is to be the strongest in the universe. He did that wish to keep up with Broly and the Saiyans. Quickly put, they surpassed him quickly. And guys are wondering, skipping the rest of the Beerus fight. Beerus would have loved that attack. He loved that attack more than Super Saiyan God. So yeah, but yeah, the story still. This story in Super is probably just literal assault. Like, let's talk about Resurrection F. King Cold brings back his son. Yes, he can try. He will not succeed. Yeah, the thing is, Gotenks and Bulma kind of have nothing else to do besides training and go to school. They arrive in beast form and shit stomp King Cold before he can even grab one Dragon Ball. Like, the Frieza Force is killed by Gotenks and Bulma, like it's nothing. Or the Cold Force. Then, what else? Universe 6 Saga. Literally send in one Z-Fighter and the tournament's over. Maybe Hit gives a bit of trouble. In that case, bring in one Saiyan, because Beerus trains all of them. One Saiyan and Hit is dead. One Saiyan, it can Turbo can beat Hit. I'm telling you right now, he can in the story. He can beat Hit. So yeah, send in one Saiyan and the entire tournament's done for. So yeah, this is the thing now. Then talk about tournament power. Let's say that, or future Trunks. Wait, there is no future Trunks. Even if you want there to be a future Trunks saga, the one Trunks that exists, it'd be Gotenks. If there's even one evil version or variant of anyone, give it to Broly maybe, because Broly doesn't show off his power. Give it to Broly. He'll end them right then and there. He can. So that's the story right then and there. Then probably have tournament power. Like I said before, send in one Saiyan and the arc will probably end. Give it to most Z-Fighters, and they probably end the saga until it comes to Jiren or Toppo. And that's kind of it. But send in maybe one Saiyan in the story. This is kind of where the story ends. So, yeah. Guys want to talk about Moro. Go ahead. Granola has his powers. He has the magic, his abilities. Moro is not that hard for Granola, so we have Granola ending Moro. Granola arc. Who cares? Granola is stronger than that version of Granola any day of the week right now. So, yeah. So, honestly, the story kind of just ends pretty quickly because no one is stopping the Z-Fighters at all. Considering they all have God Key, I'd assume I'd assume that they would. So, yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed. Like and subscribe for more. Adios.